Good morning, everybody. Happy New Year, and thanks for joining us here on Scanner School. Wow, what a horrible way for me to start the first live session of 2026. I am reading comments. I'm answering questions. I am talking to myself because even though I went on this computer to hit go live, and I'm watching myself on this computer and reading feedback and wondering why there's only comments and no questions coming in, I never hit the go live button. So for 22 minutes, I'm sitting here talking to myself. Good morning, guys. We will try this again. My name is Phil Lichtenberger, and apparently I need to do this more often because I am a bit rusty. We're here this morning to answer your Scanner Radio questions and help you with the Scanner Radio hobby. I am so glad that many of you guys have stuck around waiting for me for 20 minutes as I'm scrolling through the comments and giving my feedback and apparently talking to myself. Good morning, everybody. I am enjoying slowly my second cup of coffee, but apparently I need to drink this one faster so I wake up. Unbelievable. I cannot believe that I just was sitting here for 20 minutes doing my thing. Having a conversation by myself. So let me go through the chat one more time now that I know I can watch this thing and see that you guys are viewing me. We have Ron in the chat. Greg is in here. Chris is in. Ken, Scanner Junkies, good morning, Ken. Ken, I gave you a plug, but you never heard it. So if you guys are into ham radio and you want to listen to a Scanner Radio or participate in a Scanner Radio, ham radio net, if you have a DMR radio or you have a radio that has a hotspot, whether it be All-Star or if you're on DMR, Ken, I don't know what else you're tapped into these days. But if you have DMR and you have a hotspot, point your hotspot to TGIF Talk Group 1033. Thursday evenings, Ken hosts a Scanner Radio amateur radio net called the Scanner Junkies. And Ken is desperately looking for help to run the nets. So if you are available for 30 minutes, 1 or 2 Thursday nights, give Ken a shout. Ken, if you're still there, put a link to the Scanner Junkies Facebook page so they can reach out to you. It's 8 p.m. Eastern time is when the net runs. And it's a great net to just talk about all things and updates on the Scanner Radio hobby. So Ken does have a rotating net control schedule that he has other people helping him out, but he desperately needs more bodies to help with running the net. So if you do have a amateur license and if you got a couple minutes on a Thursday evening and you'd like to help out, give Ken a shout. You can find him over on Facebook. Just look for the Scanner Junkies, and that'll take you to the page where you can contact Ken and help him out. Maker of Things Unique, congratulations on the brand new amateur radio call signs, M1OTA. I read that just a few minutes ago. M1 over the air. I don't know if that's a vanity call, but it's pretty cool. Temporary Jones, congratulations on the new BCD 160DN. And again, we did a whole conversation on the 160DN and the BCD 536 and the SDS 100, but none of you guys have heard that. And I even talked about my first Scanner Radio that was a trunk system. And again, you guys didn't even hear any of that either. So very interesting morning over here. So very good. I want to jump ahead here because I want to make sure that I'm not going to skip any questions and that I am definitely live and that things are working over here. But I appreciate you guys hanging around. And the chat has been popping this morning. Thank you so much for that as well. And I will say, Happy New Year. We're off to such a great start. As you could tell, I'm a little bit, off now because of everything that just happened here. Jim, to answer your question, yes, the 150 DN, this is about as much of an appearance as you're going to see with it today. I'm saving it. I'm saving it right now. I would like to do an unboxing video, and I would like to have it set up so that my reactions are genuine and they're real. So I have not opened up the box yet, and I will be going through that. We're going to take the radio out of the box, show you what's in there, set it up, power it up. We'll do a comparison to the SDS 100, and go through that. Then we'll break out some more videos on how to use the radio, but we will spend some dedicated time and some videos on this one, and take a look at that. Happy New Year, Jason. Good to see you on there. And let's see, we've got again, I'm gonna be repeating myself for myself. Ron is in, Temporary Jones. Again, Chris, Jim, Maker of Things Unique. John is in. Good morning, John. And I'm looking for questions. I went through all the comments. It's unbelievable that I wasn't live this morning. Christina is in. Christina, good morning to you. Yes, answer your questions. Suffolk PD is Simulcast. They are on a Simulcast system, and let's take a look at that. I wanna play around here. You guys didn't get to hear it, but we're back on the old way of broadcasting that was crashing, and the reason why we are back on that system is because I think I might have figured out what the bugs were, and it was a old webcam plugin that I was running my Mac that was no longer supported by the Mac, so it was causing a bit of an issue. So what I want to do here is let's just run things through a test, and we're going to run through the RadioReference database. I want to change the screen here. Let's see if we can do, yeah, and my other monitor, my other thing is not there. Why does it look like that? Let's see what happens. Transition. I want to see what this looks like, and then I'm going to pull it back again because it's supposed to be transition back. I want to see what that looks like on the live before I go too far into it, because my live is not matching what I really wanted to show. And of course, when I do the live now, you guys are going to see a lot more than, what I was hoping to show. I'm just watching the loop back. It's a couple seconds behind. It's not what I was hoping to see. All right. I don't know why it looks like that. Let's see if we can make some changes over here so that it looks like what I want to show. I guess it took the last image of what I was looking for. No, it's stuck. That's why. Let's see. External monitor. All right, so that apparently isn't going to let me to do it. This is good. This is why we're live. All right. We will continue to play around with some of the stuff and get it figured out. It's all good. All right. So, Christina, to answer your question, okay, I see myself blinking. That's good. Suffolk PD is Simulcast. They are on the 800 layer of the Suffolk County system. So if you program in the 700, you're never going to hear them. You got to put the 800 system in there. And what you're looking at too is there. I think there's an east and a west. So depending where you are, you may want to listen to one or the other. And it's Simulcast. So there's plenty of. I was going to show you all the different locations in the RadioReference database, but it looks like that my screen does not want to update and show that it's kind of locked in here, which is fine. I just, like I said, 5 minutes before I started here, I updated the OBS, which is my broadcasting system, which was crashing. So even if I start moving things here, it's still going to be a nice test to see if it crashes and if it stops. And it looks like that animation doesn't want to work anymore either. It just popped up. Let's see if this one works. That one ran. All right. So we're shaking things loose. We are definitely shaking the nut behind the wheel loose this morning. All right, let's go back. I'm looking for some questions. I don't have anything coming in yet. We will go back and go through some of the conversation I had by myself. But again, leave me a comment or a question, rather, if a question in the chat if you have that. Again, if you're catching us live, thank you so much for joining us here. If you're catching us on a replay, you can leave your comments in the description down below. Again, I'm a little bit because I just went through a whole 22 minutes talking to myself. Crazy. So Christina, yes, you've been the Pro 651. Was that one P25? I'll take a look and refresh my memory on that one. Pro 651. Yeah, that was P25 radio. Doesn't do phase 2 though at all, and I don't recall, is Suffolk County PD phase 2. Let's take a quick look. No, they're not. They're not, but they are simulcast, so that may be what's holding you back a little bit on using that old radio. But the 651 is not going to work well at all in simulcast. Been there, done that with that one. But it's good radio. It's an upgrade on the old Radio Shack Pro 106, which I have over here on the shelf. And then I have the Whistler version of it, the 1040, I believe is what it's called. But it's interesting. Jason, I have, but I haven't. So I've been sick the last 3 weeks with a bad cold. You still hear me sniffling and I rub my nose. So I haven't. I have, but I haven't. Let's put it that way. In fact, if I go back to RadioReference, I think I have. And again, I know you guys can't see it, but we'll work on that for next month. I am signed up to watch the Uniden forum over there. So I typically do get emails when a new forum topic is posted to the Uniden forums over on RadioReference. You like my thought prior to your unboxing? Well, I was going to do the unboxing and record it. So what I'll do is, Jason, I'll reach out to you on RadioReference, because what's going to happen is I'm going to do the unboxing, and then the video is going to have to get edited before it gets posted. So I'll be able to talk to you about it before the video goes live. But I am looking forward to it. I mean, for what I've seen about the radio, it's got some really good feedback and reception as far as reception from the user base. I am loving the fact that it comes with the desktop charger, and I am looking forward to popping in some of my my favorites lists into there and letting it run. But absolutely love the fact that it comes with a desktop charger. To me, that's a win-win on that one. And if there's anything specific you want my feedback on, let me know. All right. Yeah, maker of things. It's when you talk to yourself. It's when you argue with yourself becomes a problem. Yeah, I always say that it's when you start talking to yourself, it's the first sign of insanity, and marriage is the second. My wife does it all the time. She talks to herself, and it's like, "What'd you say?" And she's like, "Oh, I was talking to myself." I was like, "Yeah, well, I'm going to start ignoring you when you're talking to me, because I'm going to assume you're talking to yourself." But that's neither here nor there. If time allows, I'd like to request a 2-minute high-level roadmap to get frequencies downloaded into the 160DN, maybe Sentinel Pro scan. All right, so the 160DN does not support Sentinel. It's not a home patrol style radio, so you cannot use Sentinel with that one. You can use ProScan. Now, the 160DN, what I like about that radio, and again, if I had more of a setup over here right now that I could switch around, it seems like all my external monitors and the external cameras aren't looping through OBS right now. I do have right here off frame that you guys can't see is I have a stand for a camera, so I could do this kind of thing live with you and show you how to do it. The 160DN is great because it's a flat style programming radio. And what that allows you to do is go to memory channel and put a frequency in, store it, or actually go to a frequency, then store it, go to frequency, store it. And it does make it easier to do that one. So if you have to, if it's analog or if it's NXDN or DMR, all you got to do is drop the frequency in and the radio will understand what it's supposed to be. You can go further with that one and then start adding in, forcing it to digital only, or put an alpha tag, a PL, a rack, or a color code in there. Is it rack? I think it's RAN, or a color code. ProScan, again, I'd love to show you. It's on the computer behind me, but I can't really patch in the screens for some reason. It's just not letting me do it this morning. Just you're gonna have to first set up a database, define it as a 160, and then you can then just fill out it's a spreadsheet basically, and then you write it to the radio. I'm trying to figure out in the back of my mind as I'm going through this with you. I'm looking through my YouTube channel, and there might be a video in my shorts that goes through how to quickly program up a radio that's similar to the 160DN, but isn't the 160DN. So it's kind of what I'm trying to go through here, and I don't know if it's this one. It might be that one. Yeah, let me just see if I can get it to run. Let's see how to use the scanner radio. Oh, I wish there was a way I could fast forward.
How do you use your brand new scanner radio? My name is Phil, and I've been in the scanner radio hobby for over 40 years. I am here to help you learn more about this scanner radio hobby. First of all, you want to be able to program your radio.
Yeah, this is the one. So I am going to copy this. Copy. Let's see if this one helps you out and gets you going. Let's see. Terry Jones, we can come back to that one definitely in a little bit also. And if you need more help and you need more assistance too, I am also available for one-on-one tutoring. I'm going to just drop that link here in the chat. It's scannerschool.com/tutoring. And there is a fee for that, but you book me for an hour, and we can do a screen share. I can definitely help you program your radio. We go through everything. I let you drive, basically, so that you get the hands-on and you learn how to do things. And at the end of the tutoring session, not immediately afterwards, but sometime afterwards, you will get a recording of the tutoring session, so you can go back and rewatch it and kind of pick up from where we left off and keep going with the with whatever it is that we had talked about. Let's see, Ham Weiser, what is the biggest danger to ham radio operators worldwide, you think, Scanner Teacher? The biggest danger to ham radio operators worldwide. Arrogance could be one of them. You get a lot of people who are turned off. And I do see it here in the scanner radio hobby as well. I've seen it on several occasions. And I hope I'm not guilty of this myself. And if I am, I would love it if you guys call me out on it. It's basically when somebody says, I need help with something, and the feedback or the attitude or the answers that come back are, it's insulting. It's one of those that, well, so-and-so asked me for help, but they should have known better. Or I can't believe they didn't know that. That was basic information, right? That and that's a turnoff for somebody, right? So if, put yourself in somebody else's shoes. If if I ask somebody for help and they're going to say, "You're an idiot. Why don't you know that?" Or don't you know that's not how that works? Or, well, you came to me for help and I explained it to you and you fought me on it, right? That's not right. That is that's an opportunity to take a step back and say, okay, well, maybe I'm not teaching this the right way and I need to explain it, or maybe I need to ask more questions myself to find out what more you don't understand so that I can better answer your question. And I feel that as people have been in the hobby for a long, long time with a lot of knowledge, sometimes you can forget what it's like to start at the very beginning. I'm going to take a quick coffee break here. My throat's killing me now. And I don't think it's, if it's a sad ham, Kenneth, I don't know if it's that or why people don't have an interest in the ham license or something like that. But it's a danger, because if you're all excited to get into the hobby, it takes one person to ruin it for everybody, right? That's really what it comes down to. And it happens with everything, right? If you have if everybody around you tells you you're doing a good job, one person tells you that you stink, what's going to sting more, right? That one person that gave you the negative feedback. So if you're struggling and you can't figure out how to do something, and you finally have the courage to jump onto a community board and say, hey, I'm stuck here, and somebody calls you an idiot or says you don't know what you're talking about, are you going to come back and ask for help again? No. And your impression of the hobby is that it's full of stuck-up individuals that think that they are better than what they are. I don't know of any other way to say that. So what I'm saying here is that is a huge threat, and that is a huge turnoff, and that can single-handedly ruin a hobby. Now, again, there's gatekeeping. There's other issues too. I'll be the first to say I like to rag and make fun of the Baofeng radios, but a lot of that I do because it's fun. That's where I'm coming from with that. To me, it's fun. It's just one of those, like, you're gonna make fun of that. But I own so many Baofeng radios, right? And it's a great starting point as long as you use them safely and within the parameters that you're licensed to or not licensed to use them in. But what I'm saying here is too, like, if you guys see me get in a position where you think I could have done a better job explaining something, please let me know. Call me out on it, publicly, privately, whatever you want to do, and I'll make it. I definitely will do my best to make it right. With that said, I'm reading Vice. With that said, I am starting a new video series next week. Wow, the delay is huge on the live feed. So I am starting a video series next week. It's going to drop Monday, and it's a 30-day getting started in the scanner radio hobby series. Okay. Now, I know a lot of these videos to start may be super ground level for a lot of you, but there's also a lot of people out there that are discovering the scanner radio hobby every single day. And that's where I've got to walk the line and figure out how I'm going to structure my content. And I think this is how I'm going to structure it moving forward. So be prepared if you don't follow us on social media channels or whatever. Again, they'll be posted here as YouTube as shorts, and also to Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. They will be simulcast. But it's going to help people go and pick up a radio and understand what they're doing with their scanner radios and how to get started with it. And with the assumption that I am teaching my dad or my grandfather, if he was still around, how to use a scanner radio and how to get into the hobby, what he needs to know, what he needs to do. And that's the attitude I'm going at it with, that I'm teaching somebody who is a family member how to get into the hobby. So I would love your feedback on those videos as you see them come out. If there's other content creators, or if you see other videos out there on social media where I could lend assistance and answer some questions. I know, Chris, you did that once before. There was a young I think it was, his name was Little Firefighter or something like that. He was asking questions about the tone outs on his pager. Chris, you tagged me on that one. I came back in to answer that question. But if you do see videos out there where people are asking questions about their scanner, tag me and let me know, and we'll circle back around and look for those videos to answer those. Let's see. Yeah, Christina, I can understand where that comes from too. Try being a woman in the hobby. I can't put myself in your shoes. They would, I'd say they would probably kill my feet. I have no idea. But I get it. My wife is in amateur radio. Well, I got her licensed. There's definitely hobbies out there that lean one way or the other. There's definitely industries that lean one way or the other. So I see it in my industry, and I'm just happy to see that you are in the hobby. And in fact, I've helped quite a few people that were female in the radio hobby. I have somebody booked today too to help out, and it's always nice to see that. I mean, if I look at my stats, it's like 98%, 99% male. So, Christina, you are definitely in the minority in this hobby, but it's one of these hobbies. I think it just it really doesn't need to be that way, but it just so happens that it is slanted more male in the hobby. Maker things. Yes, it depends too on the radio club that you're in, and a lot of radio clubs too do have scanner radio clubs. Jones, I'm glad that you see that too. That my observation, that you agree with me. Let's see. Yeah, Ray. I don't want to call anything out, but yes, Ray. 100. Yes, Ray. Yes. It may not be healthy, Hanvice, to drink that much coffee, but oh, cheers. So, Zenfail, do you have any experience with the SDS 100-200 firmware modified to accept and decrypt the P25 traffic? I saw the firmware to do that. I have not messed with the firmware to do that. Feel free to put a link to that GitHub project in the chat. Jason's probably going to blow his lid, but that's okay. We're all here to share. This is a use at your own risk type of scenario, but there is firmware out there. It does not break encryption. It does not allow you to monitor anything you're not authorized to monitor. It is a roundabout hacked firmware for the radio that allows you to put keys that you already have and know into the radio to help you monitor that. Is it the best way to do it? I don't know. I wouldn't put it into my SDS 100 or 200, and I say that on the record. There are other tools and devices out there that I think are safer, like software-defined radio. OP25, I think, allows you to do that one. That would be easier, and you're not messing with hardware, and you're not going to brick anything. Yeah. But there is firmware out there that allows you to do it. I've seen it. I've looked at it. Never downloaded it. Never installed it. And forgot all about it, to be honest with you, until you brought it up. But yeah, feel free to post that GitHub. And I'm pretty sure I bookmarked it. Or I would put it myself, but I just I don't see it in my bookmarks right now. Let's see. Yeah, no, I'm never going to be able to dig it up. Too many bookmarks. And I'm too disorganized. Okay, let's keep going here. And definitely like your avatar there with the bear paw print there. Interesting. And yes, you're right. Reading back, you do need a key, of course. Exactly. Ray says every once in a while your SDS 100 will not scan after boot up. I have to reboot it and then it scans normal. Have you experienced this? I have not, but I would lean into it being a SD card issue, right? Everything on the 436, the 536, and the SDS 100, 200, and the 150, and boy, this feed is lagging, is stored on the micro SD card. If the scanner radio has an issue reading that SD card, it might be preventing it from loading the favorites list. So what I would strongly recommend doing is getting another micro SD card. And in fact, I believe you can go up to 64 gig in these radios. If it's not 64, it's maybe 128 or 32. I got to dig that information up. Jason, maybe if you know. But go with an Ultra card. I mean, it probably doesn't really matter in these radios. But if you go bigger, it allows you to store more audio, right? Because the text files that's in the database, right? They're text. They're not that large. But if you want to record and do replays that having a larger SD card, or if you want to do discovery mode or analyzer, stuff like that records things to the SD card. And don't forget, too, an SD card has a finite number of reads and writes, or more, it has a finite number of writes to it. And again, my Raspberry Pi Zero that I was using for my hotspot, again, when I was talking to myself, I explained that it went toes up. I thought it was the micro SD card, but it ended up being the Pi Zero. So if anybody has any leads to a Pi Zero W, I believe it's what it is, I need one. Start there, Ray. They're pretty cheap. It's a great way to start diagnosing the issue. Just write it back with Sentinel to the new card. Do a what do they call it? A clean device or clear device, and that pushes all the information that the radio needs to read to the SD card. Ron is saying, I really enjoy GMRS and have helped over 20 get their ham radio license as well in your VE. Excellent, Ron. Glad to see you are spreading the knowledge and helping those out in both amateur radio side and GMRS. Let's see. Yeah, Christina, that's exactly also why I'm doing it too, is you don't know what you don't know. And there might be still a nugget in there that even though, that's why that happens, or again, I'm not saying I know everything either, but what I do know, I like to share. Yeah, we're starting at level 0. Temporary Jones says, Phil single-handedly taught me SDR, and I'm more grateful for that. Thank you, and you're welcome. I'm glad that it helped. Do you ever think they will ever get ARC 260 to log into the UK version of RadioReference? I do not know. I don't know if it's the same RadioReference. I would be surprised if he's using RadioReference's name without it being RadioReference, but That's a good question. ARC 260 is Butel software. You may want to reach out to Gomert over at butel.nl and ask him if that. But they may not have the same back end, may not have the same interface, may not even be associated. Let's see, RadioReference UK. Or is it RadioReference? Yeah, this looks. I don't think RadioReference UK is associated. With RadioReference. It's just it doesn't even have that same feel or let's see about. Yeah, it definitely looks a little bit different. I know that there is stuff on RadioReference for the UK in their database, being that the RadioReference database is community driven. It's only as good as the information that is submitted to it, whether that be information that's new, updated, or needs to be deleted. So if you do know of something that should be added to the RadioReference database, the main RadioReference database, I would say that submit them. It's only as good as the information that is provided. And again, that's where part of the frustration comes to, where it's like people just say, oh, the RadioReference database stinks. Okay, well, why? Well, oh, it's got wrong information. Okay, well, if you know the information's wrong, then submit the changes so that we can all benefit from the information that you know. It's a community-driven repository of frequencies. They do not allow submissions just based off of FCC information. And the reason for that is because a agency could have 10 licenses, but they only use one. So why would you put all 10 frequencies in if they're not used? You want confirmed data. You want to know that's in use. You want to know what it's being used for. PL, DPL, NACs, RAN codes, color codes, whatever it is, right? You want to have a full-on database full of information. And so that's why it's only verified information that gets submitted to or approved into the RadioReference database. Try to make it nice and clean. Let's see what we're going through here. Good. You're Jason. You're not blowing your lid. W8 ITC, there are people in my area that monitor, and as soon as something big happens or is in progress, they'll post to it, Facebook for a website. Do you think it's moved to digital? Yeah, could be. And this is nothing new, right? Let's just put it out this way. Things like Broadcastify and Facebook and other chat groups and stuff, right? This is just an evolution of passing along information to the community. I think we see it more now because of what's playing out. I don't want to get political, but politically, I think there's a lot more organization with some groups because of smartphone technology. So think about it this way. You could put out a post on a Discord server, on a Facebook group, on a group chat, and pass information along near real time, right? Probably faster than what I'm talking to on the microphone and it comes out your speaker, real time. So the days of saying, hey, we're going to meet here at noon on Saturday, right? Those days are gone. We're moving here now. We're moving here now. Broadcastify allows you to monitor without the needs to understand how a scanner radio works. Broadcastify allows you to have your phone and listen in the field. Broadcastify, allows you to keep tabs on what's going on without the need, the knowledge, or the ability to have a scanner radio. But if you had your scanner radio, Broadcastify is not the reason why things would be going encrypted. Broadcastify is not the reason for that. Facebook chats or groups or websites isn't the reason for that. Before we had Facebook groups, before we had Broadcastify, before we had Discord servers, we had paging notifications. We had a subscriber-based way on a POCSAG pager that would alert you as to what's happening around the neighborhood. There are buff groups that would operate on closed repeater systems that would, for media, would allow some media agencies to, or buff groups, just to keep tabs of what's going on. I know I would, instead of listening myself to NYPD or FDNY, I would just listen to the citywide buff group. And that would allow me to keep tabs on what is happening around the city. Now, more coordination efforts and more organizational, stuff like that. We've seen that a lot. Again, I'm walking that fine line here. I think that regardless of modern technology, I feel that there is a time and a place for everything. I think that there's a need for encryption. I'll say it, there is a need for encryption, but there's also a need for transparency. I think that the daily dispatches that Timmy, is stuck in a tree, that there's a motor vehicle accident on, Main and Elm, that there's a speeding motorist, there's a house fire. They don't need to be on a secure channel. That's just my thought on it. My also thought is that tactical, critical, even personal identification, right? Social security numbers, license plate IDs, stuff like that, secure channel, TAC channel, whatever. But with today's modern radios too, the dispatcher has the ability to encrypt the transmission. So does the end user. That if there's something sensitive that were to go out over a clear channel. Something as simple, even before they had all the widespread encryption, right? To check your MDT, right? Check your CAD. That's how they would do it, right? They don't want to say it over the air. Check your terminal, right? Check your mobile data terminal for information. And they would send it that way securely. And for years, that wasn't secure either, right? We look at the days of, I just had his name on the tip of my tongue, and I'm having, I'm not firing on all my neurons here. I can't think of his name. He was arrested and charged, and then he died of cancer before he could be tried. He was huge in the scanner radio hobby, with modifying radios, and Bill Cheek. That was it. It was Bill Cheek. So there's ways, right? Is encryption needed? Officer safety? Absolutely. But everyday transmissions? No. And do I think that it's stuff like that? Facebook groups? I don't. It's just the evolution of the buff groups is what it is. And they've been around forever. But with today's new modern technology too, with P25 and trunk systems, it is a lot easier to jump into encryption as the end user. And again, the end user being PD, not us. I like to say that we are leeches, right? We are the barnacles on the bottom of the boat listening to these trunk radio systems. They don't worry about us. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Very good, Christine. I'm just reading what you've put in here. Only moderators can put links. 32 gigabyte. Okay, so it's 32 gig max on that one. What GMRS FRS radios do you recommend we use? I don't have one to recommend. I know a lot of people use the Baofungs. A lot of people are using Radio Oddities. A lot of people are using Anytones, Motorola radios, commercial radios. Um, Uniden makes, I believe, some FRS GMRS radios. Um, so it's been if you're looking to play it safe and within parameters, buy a radio that is strictly marketed for FRS GMRS. That'll keep you from wandering outside of the frequency ranges and that kind of stuff. Let's see. Kind of skip it up on GMRS. Yeah, I used GMRS just slightly, a little bit. 996P2, good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for the compliment there. Let's see. Yeah, I agree with you. Zfeel? I hope I'm saying it right. And Bradley, you got me right. Bill Cheek. I don't remember if I said this when I was talking to myself, but let's talk about this again if we haven't. Keith, you were saying too, right? Police and fire in the Northeast Massachusetts are going encrypted. Scanners are slowly becoming less monitoring. Hang up your radios on the shelf and make it a classic antique model. I want to talk about that for a second. As I slurp my coffee that's getting cold into the microphone here. So, with the encryption and the scanner radio hobby, right, and things that are becoming less and less monitorable, if that's even a word here, what I like to use is the analogy of we don't throw out our TVs when our favorite TV show is not renewed or they have a series finale, right? I mean, you may cancel Netflix because Stranger Things is now over and you've already watched it and you don't want to listen to it or watch it anymore. But you still kept your TV, right? When our favorite news anchor, right, goes off the local news, we may follow him to another channel, right? Or we may keep watching the same channel that we've been watching. And if our favorite actor decides that he's no longer going to play the same roles he once played, right? Or he's no longer going to act or passes away, right? We don't stop going to the movies. We don't stop being a fan of film, right? Look at James Bond, right? How many James Bonds have there been? I'm not a fan. I've never watched Doctor Who, but I've heard Doctor Who's the same way, right? There's different Doctor Who's. The movies, the series, they continue with those changes, right? What I'm saying is we don't throw out our TVs. We don't stop going to the movies. We shouldn't stop using our scanner radios just because what we wanted to listen to, the police or the fire, have encrypted. We have to change the channel. We have to find something else out there to listen to. We need to turn the dial, right? And my local police are encrypted, and they've been encrypted, gotta be 12, 13 years now. I got to go back and find out the exact date they went. NYPD is going encrypted, right? I get it. I get that encryption is, ruining the hobby for some people because when all you want to do is listen to police or fire, I get it, right? But there's other things out there to listen to. There's other things out there in another way. I think it was described in the chat before I even jumped on here and was live with you guys. I forget now. Temporary Jones, maybe you said it or somebody else has said it. But you learn to listen to other things and discover what is happening around you, right? You know that there's something going on if you watch Flight Radar 24 or FlightAware or ADSB Exchange, and you can see the helicopter circling, right? Yeah, you can't listen to that dispatch, but you know there's something going on. Or you listen to the local rails, and you can tell if somebody got hit by a train or there's a car on the tracks, right? If you can listen to the local fire department or the EMS runs, you may hear that there's a bad accident or something like that. There's other things out there to listen to, and it gives you an opportunity when you can't listen to what it was that you would listen to 24/7. It gives you the opportunity to learn about something else to listen to. It gives you the opportunity to discover something new about your radio. And I had talked about it when I was talking to myself, that primarily when I was listening to my scanner radios when it was 2000-ish area, I would do a lot of listening to just conventional, because my local police and fire, they were conventional FM, and I could listen to them with any radio. But I knew about the local county EDAC system, and holy cow, is this screen lagging. I knew about the local county EDAC system. I knew there was stuff out there. I knew there was stuff that would be interesting to listen to, but I never really listened to it. And it was stuff like the county DPW, the local sewage treatment plant, but there's also stuff like security at the local hospital, the sheriff's department, where they would run certain operations on there. That became very interesting to listen to. And the first time I programmed in that EDAX system into my scanner radio and actually gave it a listen, I could not believe all of the information and activity that I was not listening to. So what I'm saying is, use encryption as a way of learning more about the scanner radio hobby. Use it as an excuse to find something else out there. We say it here on this channel, right? The secrets are in the searches. We have to turn the dial and find something else to listen to. And again, I love scanning around and trying to find something new, finding that new trunk system, discovering what is out there. Even if it's a known trunk radio system, and just looking at the radio IDs or the UIDs and discovering where they're used. For example, that is how I was able to map out some of the encrypted talk groups on our local P25 system that was primarily used by the encrypted PD. You'd find the radio IDs. You'd discover that these were showing up on certain talk groups, and you can map them to certain precincts or areas or uses based on what you're seeing. So it's a good way to get out of your comfort zone and learn something more about what is going on around you. So with that said, there's a lot going on that we just have to discover. A lot more that's out there that may not be on RadioReference either, right? We have to remember that RadioReference is a great repository, but again, it's only as good as the information that's submitted to it. And if there's nobody in your area that is looking for data, then new data will not be found. You can still hear the railroads, aircraft, Marine, Coast Guard's doing some encryption, but that's a whole, the federal government. So there's a lot going on there. Scanning is like HF, the hunt for new, yeah, it's the fun part, exactly. And to be honest with you, that is the next chapter in my radio journey. But we'll talk about that another time. Guys, it's been almost an hour now that I've been with you guys live. If you do have any comments, questions, or feedback for me, I invite you to email me. We will be doing the Ask Scanner School sessions. I'm answering questions on there that you submit to me via email. If you're catching us again live, thank you so much for joining us here. If you caught us on a replay, again, let me know where you are watching us from in the comments down below. And also, mark your calendars. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, because we will be back next month for a live session, and you'll be notified of that when we go live if you are subscribed. And again, I cannot believe the delay time on the live feed, unless it's just what I'm seeing here on the loop, and it's really not that live, because the chat seems like it is more caught up than what the video is that I am watching here. The new series that we are launching comes out on Monday. And if you're subscribed to us over here on YouTube or on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok, you'll be notified too when those videos come out. Guys, I look forward to helping you guys out again in the future, coming up real soon again. And enjoy 2026. Sorry for the hiccup this morning. I'm glad we were able to get that squared away. It looks like the OBS is up and running, so we'll work on getting the screens back and fixed and running. And with that, I want to say again, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here. Hopefully, I was able to help you guys out a little bit this morning. And we will catch you live again next month. Pencil in the first Saturday, same bat channel, same bat time, same bat, whatever it was. It's the third one too, right? Guys, 73. We'll talk soon. And that's it. Have a good one. Good night. Goodbye. And see you later.